WrestleMania XL Night 1 review. Now, I wasn't really sure how I was going to do this review because I have so many thoughts and feelings swirling around my head, and unlike most content creators, I don't really have a script that I follow, just kind of improv it. But just to keep it simple, I'm going to give you guys my thoughts and feelings on each match and give you my 1 to 10 scale rating on it. But without further ado, here we go. So, much to my surprise, we open Night 1 with Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch for the Women's World title. Now, my initial prediction, I predicted that Rhea Ripley would win this match, and she did it in pretty much the fashion that I thought she would. I thought it was going to be a lot of back and forth action, and there was even a couple of times when Becky Lynch had the advantage in the match despite her smaller size. And the fact that she was fighting a 102-degree fever. This is pretty much her Michael Jordan flu game. But despite her losing and the conditions that she was fighting under, Becky Lynch arguably had one of the spots of the match with the manhandle slam twice and that disarmor. But I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The Rhea Ripley train is way too hot to stop right now, and I think she's going to keep on riding this momentum. And as far as Becky Lynch, I mean, she's got options, she's got other feuds, but me personally, I think she should take maybe a few months off. But I gave this match a 7.5 out of 10. Next up, we had the chaotic and funny six-pack ladder match between the Judgment Day, the New Day, DIY, the Awesome Truth, A-Town Down Under, and the New Cash Republic. Now, to me, one of the biggest swerves was A-Town Down Under, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, winning the SmackDown titles. Now, you can say it was kind of a dirty way to win, but come on, it's a ladder match. There's really no rules. I personally thought that DIY was going to take away at least one of those titles, or I thought that the New Cash Republic would win the SmackDown titles. But man, oh man, I'm so glad that the Awesome Truth finally won a tag team title. And R-Truth got his WrestleMania moment. And that hot tag, that was the most funny spot in the match. I mean, come on. Tagging in a ladder match. And, man, I'm also proud of R-Truth, too, you know, with how far he's come. A lot of people think that he's a comedy act, but, I mean, he's shown that he can get down in the ring for real. And The Miz, give The Miz his flowers. Y'all stop playing with The Miz. And I thought that the New Day would have a couple more high-flying spots. I mean, especially with Kofi Kingston, because he's good for those at WrestleMania. But they didn't really get that much time to shine. But come on, in a team, you know, in a team ladder match with 12 people, you got to work with what you got. But the biggest holy moment in that match was when JD McDonough got tossed 12 feet off that ladder and crashed through a table. That was so satisfying to see. But overall, I would give that match a solid 7 out of 10. Next up, we got Dominic Mysterio and Santos Escobar versus Rey Mysterio and Andrade. Now, Andrade was Dragon Lee's replacement because Dragon Lee got knocked out the night before due to a kayfabe injury. But man, oh man, did he exceed my expectations, especially with Andrade being a man his size and being able to do high-flying maneuvers. That caught me off guard. And this was actually the first match that I got wrong on this card. I mean, and I'm actually kind of glad I did because it's a good happily ever after moment for Ray and the rest of the LWO. And we get a surprise appearance from Philadelphia Eagles legends Lane Johnson and Jason Kelsey. And those high-flying spots from the LWO members, mwah, beautiful. Beautiful. I was going to originally give that match a 5, but I'm going to bump it up to a 6.5 out of 10. Next up, we have what people call the most underwhelming match of not only Night 1, but the entire event. The brother versus brother match between Jimmy and Jey Uso. Now, the wrestling in this match was just okay, but what can you expect when you have two guys who have the exact same moveset? Now, I'm in the general consensus that this match should have had some sort of special stipulation, like, I don't know, maybe an ambulance match, or a last man standing match, or a no DQ street fight kind of match. But, hey, you work with what you got. And I think that someone counted 22 super kicks between Jimmy and Jey in this entire match, which a lot of people weren't really too keen on. But hey, the one thing that made this match watchable, or maybe even the standout from this match, was the whole brother versus brother drama that they were milking, where Jey was about to land the finishing blow, and Jimmy was trying to plead to him to not do it, and Jey hesitated, and Jimmy took advantage in heel fashion. Now, I actually expected Jimmy to win this match because the heels in brother versus brother match usually lose at WrestleMania. I thought he would win based on some kind of outside interference or some kind of foolery during the match. But hey, I'm glad that Team Yeet came through. But overall, I'd have to give this match maybe a 5 out of 10. Next up, the co-main event and the match of the night. Sami Zayn versus Gunther. This was without a doubt the show stealer match. And no, I'm not saying that because I was a prisoner of the moment. I mean that as a fact because this match has everything you could ask for out of an Intercontinental Championship match. Because everybody says that nobody conveys emotion in that ring better than Sami Zayn can. And with him going up against a juggernaut like Gunther, this is pretty much a reenactment of Rocky IV with Sami Zayn playing the Rocky role and Gunther playing Ivan Drago. Now, Gunther may be a heel champion, but if there is one thing that he can do is bring the best out of you in that ring, and by God, he did. Both of these guys had tremendous back and forth action. Well, I would say it was probably about 70-30 on Gunther's part. Gunther did dominate the majority of the match, but Sami Zayn, he just showed that heart, showed that never say die, that determination. And it made you want to get behind Sami Zayn. It really did. And I actually thought that Gunther was going to win this match. And some people thought that Sami Zayn was the wrong choice. But hey, hindsight is 20/20. Give Sami Zayn this flower. He deserved this win. And you kind of have to look at the silver lining too, because Gunther, within the next couple of years, is probably going to be in the main event. If he doesn't win the Money in the Bank, then he should definitely win the 2025 Royal Rumble. But overall, this match was brilliantly wrestled. The back and forth action was great. A lot of the shots were stiff. It was a technically wrestled match. Man, oh man. And just the feeling and the emotion that you got behind it. Like if there's any match that makes you feel, don't worry, I'll get more into that later. But if there's any match that makes you feel and brings the emotion out of you, it's this one. That's why I would give Sami Zayn versus Gunther a 10 out of 10. 5 stars. And last but not least, the main event. The biggest tag team match in WrestleMania history. Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes versus the Bloodlines, Rock and Roman Reigns. Now, a lot of people felt that the winner or winners of this match was pretty obvious, myself included. But hey, we all knew that the result of this match was building to something bigger. But I don't really think too many people cared about the result of this match so much as they cared about if the match was well wrestled or if the narration and the way the story and narrative is told is. Now, this match was 44 minutes long. And guess what? Throughout that 44 minutes, I was not bored once. This was once again a match that had everything. It had high flying spots, power moves. It had good crowd interaction, back and forth between all of the performers in the match. And man, oh man, The Rock can still go. And that was people's biggest question is, well, can The Rock at his age, no matter what kind of shape he's in, can he still wrestle a 20, 30, 40-minute match? Hell yeah, he can. And I don't care if it's a tag team match or not. And it's like, well, Roman Reigns was carrying most of the load. Well, guess what? They both made the other team look good. And that's what matters. And let me guys know how you feel about this. Because there's a lot of people who thought that instead of The Rock going over on Cody, that Roman Reigns should have went over on Seth because that would have gave last night some more meaning. But I guess it does make sense because The Rock hasn't won a WrestleMania match in, what, a decade? But above all, this match gets a 9 out of 10 from me. But overall, guys, I would give WrestleMania XL Night 1 an 8 out of 10. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. And stay tuned for my Night 2 review.